So welcome to this small screencast that covers the basics of controllers in ThorIO. First of all, I will mention that I'm currently on my Chromebook, and this screen recording software seems to be quite nasty and produces lots of noise. So I hope you guys have patience. So ThorIO, it's a real-time framework written in TypeScript, runs on Node. Quite simple. You just install the package. In my case, I set up a Node.js application. The dependencies are Express and Express WebSockets, and also the ThorIO vNext npm package, which is on version 102. We of course have a main or a server process, server.js. Can just show you a little bit quick here that we are using Express or IO, setting up a new engine, parse the controller, which is the backend or server-side endpoint which clients can connect to and send and receive data from. When we have a WebSocket request, as you see here on line 17, we will add this connection to the ThorIO.Engine. We can move up to line number 10 here, where I create the engine, and also using required to load my JavaScript file, which contains the chat controller. So let's look at the TypeScript file for our chat controller then. It looks like this. It's quite a simple one. Of course, we have an import statement up here in the top of the page, or top of the code. We also have a simple model that represents our chat message. It just has one property, which is the text we actually want to send. We create a class called chat controller, which extends the ThorIO controller. We also add some decorators here. The first important thing to learn, except deriving from ThorIO controller, is to use the decorators to put the alias on the controller. This controller will have an alias, a name chat controller, like this. And there's a constructor which the framework will pass the connection to. A connection is also a client, or the newly connected client. We also set a property here named H. As you see up here, we have a decorator on the particular attribute or property H. Is named can set. It's true. This means that that the client can actually modify this property from the client JavaScript code. If we move down to this method called sendMessage, this is a method decorated with the can-invoke attribute, which means that this method can be called from the client. Further on, you will see the signature of this method, which contains a chat message, which is our model, and the topic. In this case, the topic will actually be send message, and the name of the controller will be the alias. That's kind of handy if you need to use those. And there are a few extension methods on the base controller, ThorIO controller. In this case, we are calling or invoking a method called invoke2, which expects an expression and an object or a model and a topic and an alias. As we are using the method called invoke2, it will evaluate this expression before sending the information out. This expression here will just give us clients with an age equal or greater than my age, this age. So by using expressions, we can target one or many clients depending on their needs or what you try to do. There's also a set of other methods like, sorry, my keyboard's fucked up. This dot invoke. If I call invoke, I will just pass the message back to the callee, the client that actually invokes this method. There is also a method called invoke to all, which will send the data or the object to all connected clients, no matter of properties or expressions or whatever you like. ThorIO also supports publish and subscribe, so the client can say subscribe foo, and you say publish foo, it will only send the particular object to the clients, the particular specific subscription. So let's look at the client then. You can find it here. I just hook up a ThorIO client factory. I point out my local host, my WebSocket, and the second argument here is the alias of the controllers I want to use. Sorry. And when the factory creates a connection to the engine or the server side, it will fire an open event, and it will give us a proxy to those controllers we specified. So on this proxy I will say chat proxy on chat message. That's a listener for incoming messages, where when the controller invokes something, we pass a topic and it will hit this listener when a message receives. Further on, I also have an event listener here for a DOM element, which actually gives us the value of a input element, a number. And as you see here, I call setProxy.setProperty age. If you remember, our controller had a property named age, which has the decorator can set. Then the client can modify this property, so we can get different states on the controller depending on which client it calls. And further on, we have a text box here with an event listener for key up. And if the key code is new line, I invoke this send message method I just talked about in the controller, and I will pass the model which takes back the one property of a text. So that's pretty much the thing. So by just restarting the node process, and let's have a look. It's called app. You can navigate to localhost 1337 and app. You will see my client here. We can also open up the inspector here to get some information. We can do a refresh. You can actually see in the network audit down here that we have a connection now to the WebSocket on port 1337, and we also got some initial messages from the controller. So let's say hello, and you can see it's sent to me as my age is 1. We can also check or change the age. You see it calls age on the chat controller, and let's also open a new message window now, like this. And you probably see this. This is a new client with the age of 1. Say I am 1. As the age of this client is larger or greater than 1, it will turn up. If you go to this one then, other client, put those like this so we can see those windows. I'll say hello, I'm 5. It only appears on this client as the age of this one is still 1. So just set it to 5 and call hello, I am still 5. It appears. So by using the setProperty method and properties on the controller, you can modify the state and filter state kind of fast and kind of easy. using those expressions that I showed you in the code here. Those expressions are those that filters out and targets different clients. So yeah, that was pretty much the thing. Thank you for listening. Hopefully we will be able to provide you with more things like this, and I hope you like it.